In Ixoria's realm of starlit, silvered seas, a legion of lunar serpents danced with ease. Their scales a-glisten with stardust's gentle gleam, as they wove a tapestry of celestial dream. With every twist and turn, together they'd unite to summon ancient magic from the heart of the mystic night. In Illyria's realm of shimmering auroral skies, a legion of sky dancers leaped to the wind's sighs. Their footprints left a trail of glittering light as they wove a tapestry of starry delight. With every leap and every melodic cry, together they'd unite to conjure ancient magic from the heart of the mystic night. In Aetoria's realm of whispering forest deep, a legion of leaf callers whispered secrets asleep. Their voices merged in harmony so fine, as they summoned ancient magic from the heart divine. With every breath and every melodic sigh, together they'd unite to conjure leaves that danced upon the mystic night. In Jothic's realm of twilight mountains steep, a legion of shadow wolves howled secrets deep. Their voices echoed off the jagged stone as they summoned ancient magic to make their own. With every growl and every melodic cry, together they'd unite to conjure mist that veiled the mystic night. In Caelin's realm of shimmering mirage lakes, a legion of aquatic sprites in harmony makes. Their laughter echoes off the rippling shore, as they danced to summon magic evermore. With every leap and every melodic sigh, together they'd unite to conjure illusions that shrouded the mystic night. In Belterra's realm of burning crimson skies, a legion of fire dancers twirled to ancient sighs. Their footprints left a trail of embers bright as they conjured flames that danced through endless night. With every leap and every melodic cry, together they'd unite to summon infernal magic from the heart of the blazing light. In Nexa's realm of luminescent caverns deep, a legion of star weavers spun their mystic thread. Their looms hummed softly as they worked through night, weaving stardust into fabric shimmering bright. With every stitch and every melodic sigh, together they'd unite to conjure celestial magic from the heart of the cosmic light. In Illyria's realm of shimmering crystal caves, a legion of mooncallers summoned ancient waves. Their whispers merged in harmony so bright as they conjured tides that danced through endless night. With every breath and every melodic sigh, together they'd unite to summon lunar magic from the heart of the celestial light. In Etheria's realm of whispering silver streams, a legion of lunar serpents swam in shimmering dreams. Their scales glimmered like moonstones in the night as they summoned ancient magic to make their own light. With every undulation and melodic sigh, together they'd unite to conjure illusions that danced upon the mystic tide. In Arachne's realm of gossamer forests tall, a legion of spider mages wove their silken call. Their threads hummed softly as they worked through night, spinning magic into fabric, shimmering bright with light. With every stitch and every melodic sigh, together they'd unite to conjure illusions that danced upon the mystic tide. In Kao's realm of shifting sands and endless dunes, a legion of windrunners rode the desert's moons. Their silken sails billowed like great wings in flight as they chased the dawn across the starry light. With every cry and every melodic sigh, together they'd unite to summon storms that danced upon the mystic tide. In Cario's realm of radiant aurora skies, a legion of dawnwalkers traversed mystic sighs. Their footsteps echoed through the ethereal land as they summoned ancient magic to command. With every step and every melodic cry, together they'd unite to conjure solar power from the heart of the cosmic light. In Ixalonia's realm of shimmering iridescent lakes, a legion of lunar dolphins leaped and played. Their scales glimmered like stardust in the night as they summoned ancient magic to make their own light. With every leap and every melodic sigh, together they'd unite to conjure illusions that danced upon the mystic tide. In Erebo's realm of whispering crystal caves, a legion of star singers wove their ethereal waves. Their melodies entwined like gossamer threads as they summoned ancient magic from the cosmic heads. With every harmony and every celestial sigh, together they'd unite to conjure stardust that danced upon the mystic tide. In Etheria's realm of shimmering silver mist, a legion of moon foxes danced with gentle wrist. Their fur shone like stardust in the lunar glow as they chased the night across the starry show. With every leap and every melodic cry, together they'd unite to conjure illusions that danced upon the mystic tide. In Ixoria's realm of luminescent caves, a legion of glowing serpents rose above the waves. Their scales shimmered like moonlit night as they summoned ancient magic to ignite. With every twist and every melodic hiss, together they'd unite to conjure starlight that danced upon the mystic tide. In Valtania's realm of star-scarred mountains high, a legion of moon warriors clashed beneath the sky. Their swords shone like comets in the dark of night as they fought for honor and their sacred light. With every clash and every melodic cry, together they'd unite to conquer the shadows that sought to divide. In Cariel's realm of singing crystal spires, a chorus of sirens wove their ethereal fires. Their voices rose like soaring wings of night as they summoned ancient magic to unite the light. With every harmony and every celestial sigh, together they'd entwine to conjure stardust that danced upon the mystic vine. In the dreamscapes of Somnium's lunar lake, a legion of shadow dancers glided softly to make their footsteps quiet as a summer breeze, as they wove their magic beneath starlit trees. With every leap and every melodic sigh, together they'd unite to conjure moonbeams that danced upon the mystic tide. In Illyria's realm of whispering waters deep, a legion of mermaids danced beneath the wave. Their scales shone like jewels in the ocean's keep, as they summoned ancient magic to enslave. With every leap and every melodic sigh, together they'd unite to conjure sea serpents that rose from the mystic tide. In Ayatoria's realm of shimmering aurora skies, a legion of lunar ravens soared on windy sighs. Their wings shone like polished opals in the night as they summoned ancient magic to ignite. With every flutter and every melodic cry, together they'd unite to conjure stardust that danced upon the mystic tide. In the land of Larea, where misty forests sway, a legion of wild harpists gathered to play. Their instruments shone like moonlit streams in night, as they wove their magic with every melodic light. With every chord and every celestial sigh, together they'd unite to conjure stardust that danced upon the mystic vine. In Arachne's realm of shimmering silver threads, a tapestry of spiders wove their enchanted threads. Their silken strands shone like a celestial sea, as they danced upon the windswept loom with glee. With every twirl and every melodic sigh, together they'd unite to conjure stardust that sparkled in the mystic light. In Ixalonia's realm of crystalline caves, a legion of gemstone guardians fiercely waved. Their armor shone like rubies in the night, as they defended ancient secrets from the fight. With every clash and every melodic cry, together they'd unite to conjure stardust that danced upon the mystic tide. In Valtoria's realm of shimmering silver mists, a legion of winged horses gathered to resist. Their manes shone like moonlit streams in night, as they prepared for battle with a fierce delight. With every snort and every melodic cry, together they'd unite to defend their kingdom from the invading dark tide. In Illyria's realm of shimmering crystal shores, a legion of merfolk gathered to explore. Their scales shone like polished jewels in the night, as they wove their magic with a gentle might. With every undulate and every melodic sigh, together they'd unite to conjure stardust that danced upon the mystic tide. In Kyria's realm of shimmering aurora skies, a legion of starweavers gathered to surprise. Their looms shone like celestial wheels in night, as they wove their magic with a gentle might. With every thread and every melodic sigh, together they'd unite to conjure stardust that danced upon the mystic flight. In Nerea's realm of glowing amber sands, a legion of lunar fairies danced with enchanted hands. Their silken gowns shone like moonflowers in night, as they wove their magic with a gentle delight. With every step and every melodic sigh, together they'd unite to conjure stardust that sparkled in the mystic light. In Etheria's realm of swirling purple mist, a legion of shadow wolves gathered to persist. Their eyes glowed like lanterns in the dark of night, as they prepared for battle with a fierce delight. With every howl and every melodic cry, together they'd unite to defend their kingdom from the invading light. In Ixilonia's realm of whispering silver leaves, a legion of forest nymphs gathered to relieve their ancient songs and dances, long suppressed and rare, as they wove their magic with a gentle whispered care. With every step and every melodic sigh, together they'd unite to conjure stardust that sparkled in the mystic night. In Erebo's realm of shimmering moonlit caverns, deep, a legion of crystal dragons gathered to keep their ancient vows and secrets, long suppressed and rare, as they wove their magic with a gentle, whispered care. With every beat and every melodic sigh, together they'd unite to conjure stardust that sparkled in the mystic night. In the Ray's realm of shimmering auroral tides, a legion of merrow warriors gathered to abide. Their scales shone like polished opals in the night, as they prepared for battle with a fierce delight. With every chant and every melodic cry, together they'd unite to defend their kingdom from the invading light. In Illyria's realm of starry nebulae born, a legion of stardust fairies danced and swirled and torn. Their gossamer wings shimmered like moonlit dew, as they wove their magic with a gentle whispered hue. With every twirl and every melodic sigh, together they'd unite to conjure aurorae that blazed in the mystic light. In Voltania's realm of emerald forests prime, a legion of leaf-callers gathered in time. Their whispers summoned ancient trees to sway as they wove their magic on a summer day. With every step and every melodic sigh, together they'd unite to conjure vines that bloomed with starlight bright. In Kirio's realm of sapphire mists that rise, a legion of windrunners gathered with open eyes. Their feathers shimmered like polished jade in flight, as they prepared for battle with a fierce delight. With every beat and every melodic cry, together they'd unite to defend their kingdom from the invading night. In Ayatoria's realm of shimmering auroral plains, a legion of lunar centaurs gathered in their trains. Their horses' coats shone like polished moonstones bright, as they prepared for battle with a fierce delight. With every chant and every melodic cry, together they'd unite to defend their kingdom from the invading night. In Ixalonia's realm of shimmering crystal caves, a legion of glass sailors gathered to their waves. Their delicate wings fluttered like silken threads, as they prepared for dance with the gentle, whispered heads. With every step and every melodic sigh, together they'd unite to weave a tapestry of light that shone so bright. In Nefaria's realm of twilight shadows gray, a legion of moon whisperers gathered to slay. Their silken threads entwined like vines on a tree, as they wove their magic with a mournful melody. With every step and every melodic sigh, together they'd unite to conjure darkness that would banish the light. In Illyria's realm of shimmering silver seas, a legion of marrow singers gathered to appease. Their haunting melodies echoed through the deep as they wove their magic on a moonlit sleep. With every note and every melodic sigh, together they'd unite to lure the sirens from their hidden night. In Kaida's realm of whispering bamboo thickets bright, a legion of shadow weavers gathered for the fight. Their silken threads entwined like vines on a tree, as they prepared to face the invading darkness spree. With every beat and every melodic cry, together they'd unite to defend their kingdom from the encroaching night. In Carius' realm of eternal stormy skies, a legion of aeromancers gathered to arise. Their windswept locks flowed like darkened streams, as they prepared for battle with a wild, unbridled dream. With every chant and every melodic cry, together they'd unite to summon the tempests that would ignite. In Ayathoria's realm of starlight gardens fair, a legion of luminants gathered to prepare. Their petals shimmered like diamonds in the night, as they danced beneath a canopy of glowing lights. With every step and every melodic sigh, together they'd unite to weave a tapestry of colors that would ignite. In the realm of crystal caverns deep and wide, a legion of gleamhounds gathered to abide. Their fur shone bright like polished gems in night, as they prepared for battle with a fierce delight. With every growl and every melodic howl, together they'd unite to defend their kingdom from the invading dark's cold might. In Valter's realm of shimmering aurora skies, a legion of Lumiari gathered, their forms alight. With wings of iridescent feathers they take to the air and dance amidst the starlight with a gentle, ethereal care. Their melodies entwined like vines on a celestial tree as they sang of Valter's secrets, ancient and wild and free. In Illyria's realm of moonlit crystal caves, a legion of gossamer dancers gathered to wave, their threads of silver and gold entwined like vines on a tree, as they prepared for the luminous masquerade, wild and free. With every step and every melodic sigh, together they'd unite to weave a tapestry of colors that would ignite. In Ixylonia's realm of whispers dark and deep, a legion of shadow dancers gathered to creep, their silken threads entwined like midnight's veil, as they prepared for battle with a stealthy, silent gale. With every step and every melodic sigh, together they'd unite to weave a tapestry of shadows that would ignite. In Kirio's realm of whispering sands so fine, a legion of Duna sprites gathered to align, their silken threads entwined like morning's veil, as they prepared for a dance that would reveal the secrets hidden in the shifting golden light, where ancient wisdoms whispered through the endless night. In Aethoria's realm of shimmering misty seas, a legion of kelpworms swam in harmony. Their scales glimmered like polished opals bright, as they sang a chorus to the moon's pale light. With every wave and every melodic sigh, together they'd unite to defend their kingdom from the darkening tide. In Lyra's realm of shimmering auroral plains, a legion of Stellalians gathered to sustain their ancient bond of friendship and might, as they prepared for a dance beneath the starry light. With every step and every melodic sigh, together they'd unite to weave a tapestry of colors that would ignite. In the dream realm's gardens of luminous blooms, a legion of moon whisperers gathered to assume their duties as guardians of the mystic night, with petals of silver and hearts full of light. Together, they'd weave a tapestry of dreams so bright to guide the slumbering minds through the dark of night. In Illyria's realm of whispering winds so free, a legion of sky blades gathered to be, their wings aflutter like leaves in autumn's breeze, as they prepared for battle with a fierce wild ease. With every step and every melodic cry, together they'd unite to defend their kingdom from the darkening night. In Nexus' realm of shimmering crystal caves, a legion of glimmerwings gathered to celebrate their brave dance of unity beneath a starry vault above, with wings that shone like polished opals in endless love. Their melodic whispers echoed through the caverns deep, as they wove a tapestry of light and mystic sleep. In Archaea's realm of shimmering sapphire seas, a legion of leviathans rose to their knees. Their massive forms undulated like waves on shore, as they prepared for battle with a primal roar. With every strike and every thunderous sigh, together they'd unite to defend their kingdom from the darkening tide. In the realm of Etheria's crystal spires so bright, a chorus of sirens gathered to ignite their song of unity beneath the starry veil, with melodies that echoed through the ethereal gale. Together they danced with steps of mystic fire, as they wove a tapestry of light and heart's desire. In Chaos' realm of shifting sands so fine, a legion of chronokeepers gathered to entwine their threads of time within a mystic loom, where hours and minutes danced like moths in gloom. With every pass and every whispered sigh, together they'd unite to weave a tapestry of moments past, and yet to ignite. In Ixalonia's realm of twilight forests deep, a legion of lunar wolves their vigil keep, their eyes aglow like lanterns in the night, as they stand guard against the shadow's flight. Together they'd unite with steps of mystic might to defend their kingdom from the darkening light. In Valtoria's realm of radiant aurora skies, a legion of star dancers gathered to rise. Their feet bare, they touched the misty ground, and weaved tapestry with threads unbound. With every step and every whispered sigh, together they'd unite in celestial harmony. In Illyria's realm of whispering silver trees, a chorus of lunar fairies danced with ease. Their delicate forms glimmered like moonbeams bright, as they wove a tapestry of starlight in the night. With every step and every whispered sigh, together they'd unite to create a harmony that echoed through the mystic skies. In Nova Heaven's realm of shimmering silver mist, a legion of celestial archers took their quest. With bows of starlight and quivers full of light, they hunted down the shadows on this mystic night. Their arrows flew like shooting stars, a wondrous sight as they chased the darkness with all their might. In Aethoria's realm of shimmering crystal caves, a legion of luminous sprites their vigil waves. Their delicate forms glimmered like stars in the night, as they guarded ancient secrets with all their might. With every pass and every whispered sigh, together they'd unite to weave a tapestry of mystic lore and timeless light. In Kaido's realm of emerald forests deep, a legion of leaf callers their vigil keep. Their voices rose like melody so fine, as they entwined the trees in harmony divine. Together they'd unite with steps of mystic might, to bring balance to the land in endless night. In Ixalonia's realm of sapphire, twilight skies, a legion of windrunners gathered to surprise. Their feet bare, they touched the misty ground, and wove a tapestry with threads unbound. With every step and every whispered sigh, together they'd unite in harmony so high. In Archaea's realm of burning crimson sand, a legion of fire elementals took their stand. With flames that danced like wildfire's might, they battled forth against the endless night. Their roars and crackles filled the air so bright, as they clashed with darkness in a fiery fight. In Lyraea's realm of shimmering auroral sea, a legion of moon whisperers sang wild and free. Their voices rose like tidal waves so high as they chanted forth the secrets of the sky. With every note and every whispered sigh, together they'd unite to weave a tapestry of mystic lore and timeless light. In Illyria's realm of star-weaved silk, a legion of lunar knights their vigil silk. Their armor shone like moonbeams bright and fair, as they guarded ancient lore beyond compare. Together they'd unite with steps so light and rare, to defend the secrets hidden in the lunar lair. In Aethoria's realm of crystal caverns deep, a chorus of song weavers their vigil keep. Their voices rose like melodies so pure and bright, as they wove a tapestry of harmony in the night. With every note and every whispered sigh, together they'd unite to bring balance to the land with their symphony so fine. In Nefaria's realm of twilight's darkest fold, a legion of shadow dancers gathered to unfold. Their steps were hushed, their movements swift and cold, as they wove a tapestry with threads of darkness old. With every step and every whispered sigh, together they'd unite to summon forth the shadows in the moonless night. In the realm of Kyrios, where windswept mountains high a legion of storm callers gathered to touch the sky. With staffs that shone like lightning's fiery blade, they summoned forth the tempests in a maelstrom parade. Their roars and thunderclaps filled the air so bright as they danced with elements in a wild, ecstatic fight. In Ixylonia's realm of luminescent blooms, a legion of auroral warriors gathered to resume their sacred dance beneath a celestial dome. With petals shining like lanterns in the gloom, they swayed to rhythmic drum beats that echoed through the room as they wove a tapestry of harmony and gentle bloom. In Gwilgi's realm of shimmering auroral seas, a chorus of sirens sang in harmony. Their voices rose like melodies so pure and bright, as they wove a tapestry with threads of light. Together they'd unite to guide the lost at sea, and lead the way through mystic currents wild and free. In Illyria's realm of starlit gardens fair, a legion of lunar warriors gathered there. With armor shining like the moon's pale light, they prepared to dance beneath the starry night. Their steps were hushed, their movements swift and cold, as they wove a tapestry with threads of silver old. In the realm of Aethoria, where crystal spires pierce the sky, a legion of stardust dancers gathered to catch the eye. Their movements swift and fluid, like the wind's gentle sigh, as they wove a tapestry with threads of starlight high. With every step and every leap, together they'd unite to summon forth the celestial music in a cosmic delight. In Chaos' realm of whispers dark and deep, a legion of shadow callers gathered to creep. Their footsteps silent as a thief in night, they wove a tapestry with threads of darkest light. With every step and every move, together they'd unite to conjure forth the shadows in a midnight delight. In Curia's realm of shimmering crystal caves, a legion of astral warriors gathered to rave. Their armor shining like the stars up high, they prepared to dance beneath a celestial sky. With every step and every leap, together they'd unite to summon forth the cosmic music in a radiant delight. In Nimu's realm of whispering silver streams, a chorus of lunar nymphs sang mystic dreams. Their voices rose like moonbeams bright and clear, as they wove a tapestry with threads of shimmering fear. Together they'd unite to guide the lost in night, and lead the way through mystic currents wild and light. In Ixilonia's realm of swirling mists and rain, a legion of sky dancers gathered to sustain. Their wings aflutter like the wind's wild sigh. They wove a tapestry with threads of starry eye. Together they'd unite in ethereal dance to summon forth the cosmic music's mystic trance. In Illyria's realm of shimmering aurora skies, a legion of star weavers gathered to rise. Their looms aflutter like the wind's wild song. They wove a tapestry with threads of golden light so strong. Together they'd unite in celestial dance to summon forth the cosmic music's mystic trance. In Archaea's realm of shimmering crystal spires, a legion of luminous guardians gathered to conspire. Their wings aflutter like the wind's wild cry. They wove a tapestry with threads of starry eye. With every step and every move, together they'd unite to summon forth the cosmic music in a radiant delight. In Etheria's realm of shimmering misty veils, a chorus of celestial harpists softly sways and fails, their fingers dancing on the strings so fine, as they weave a tapestry of starlight divine. With every note, their music starts to rise, and guides the lost in misty, mystic skies. In Kaidira's realm of whispering sand and flame, a legion of inferno dancers gathered to proclaim. Their feet aflutter like the wind's wild roar, as they wove a tapestry with threads of burning core. With every step, their dance ignited the night, and fueled the passion that burned within their sight. In Nyxoria's realm of starry midnight skies, a legion of dreamwalkers gathered to surprise. Their footsteps silent like a moonlit stream, as they wove a tapestry with threads of mystic dream. With every step, their journey merged the past, and forged a future in an endless cosmic cast. In Valtara's realm of swirling auroral storms, a legion of stormcallers gathered to form their elemental might in harmony so fine, as they summoned forth the tempest's mystic shrine. With every shout and every wave of their hand, they channeled forces wild, a symphony to command. In Illyria's realm of shimmering silver lakes, a chorus of lunar singers softly makes their music rise like misty dawn's sweet sigh, as they weave a tapestry of starlight high. With every note, their harmony does bind the dreams of sleepers in a mystic design. In Earth's realm of shimmering crystal caves, a legion of luminous serpents gently sways. Their scales aflutter like the wind's soft breeze, as they weave a tapestry with threads of ethereal ease. With every undulation, their dance ignites the night, and fuels the magic that burns within their sight. In the realm of Xylonia's verdant twilight hush, a legion of forest whisperers gathered to rush, their footsteps silent as a summer breeze, as they wove a tapestry with threads of ancient trees. With every step, their journey merged the past and forged a future in an endless mystic cast. In Cheirethia's realm of shimmering crystal spires, a legion of stardancers gathered to aspire. Their footsteps echoed like a celestial song as they wove a tapestry with threads of starlight strong. With every step, their journey merged the past and present too, and forged a future in an endless cosmic hue. In the dreamscapes of Somnium, where moonflowers bloom, a chorus of lunar weavers softly hum, their silken threads a-glitter like starlight's gleam, as they weave a tapestry with secrets yet unseen. With every thread, their magic does entwine the dreams of sleepers in a mystic design divine. In Aethoria's realm of whispering aurora skies, a legion of windrunners gathered, their spirits rise. With every gust they dance like leaves on high, their footsteps silent as the morning's sigh. Together they wove a tapestry of shifting hue as they chased the dawn, and the sun's radiance anew. In Illyria's realm of shimmering misty falls, a legion of water nymphs gathered to enthrall, their voices echoing like a gentle brook's flow, as they wove a tapestry with threads of liquid glow. With every ripple, their magic did unfold, and formed a mystical bond between the young and old. In Glimmerhollow's realm of radiant sunbeams bright, a legion of leaf callers gathered to ignite, their footsteps dancing like a forest's glee, as they wove a tapestry with threads of wild energy. With every step, their magic did unfold and shine, and lit the darkness with a light divine. In Valtoria's realm of shimmering iridescent wings, a legion of starblades gather to sing. Their melodic blades aglow like embers bright, as they wove a tapestry with threads of starry light. Together they danced, their movement swift and free, and forged a harmony that echoed through eternity. In the heart of Kyrios, where starlight whispers low, a legion of shadow dancers gathered to bestow their mystic gifts upon the realm's dark night. With every step, their shadows took to flight. Together they wove a tapestry of darkness and light, as they danced with spectral creatures through the silent fight. In Chaos' realm of swirling vortex winds, a legion of storm callers gathered to entwine. Their voices echoing like 1,000 drums beat strong, as they summoned ancient powers to join their song. Together they wove a tapestry of tempests and might, and danced with elements that clashed through the endless night. In crystal caverns deep beneath the earth, a legion of lumineers gathered to give rebirth, their crystals glowing like 1,000 stars above, as they danced with creatures born from ancient love. Together they wove a tapestry of light and sound, and forged a harmony that shook the cavern's ground. In Aetoria's realm of shimmering aurora skies, a legion of dawnrunners gathered to surprise. Their feet bare, their hearts ablaze like embers bright, as they danced with creatures born from morning light. Together they wove a tapestry of sunrise hues, and forged a harmony that echoed through the dew. In Nemoria's realm of shimmering moonlit tides, a legion of lunar warriors gathered to abide, their armor glowing like 1,000 stars above, as they prepared for battle with the dark forces of love. Together they wove a tapestry of silver and blue, and forged a harmony that echoed through the dreamer's view. In Illyria's realm of whispering silver mists, a legion of moonweavers gathered to persist, their looms humming like 1,000 gentle hives, as they wove tapestries of lunar threads that thrive. Together they danced with creatures born from dream, and forged a harmony that echoed through the mystic scheme. In glimmering grotto's heart of shimmering jade, a legion of starlings gathered to parade, their feathers glowing like 1,000 tiny lights, as they danced with sprites that wove through the night. Together they twirled in perfect swirling flight, and forged a harmony that echoed through the grotto's delight. In Corellia's kingdom beneath the waves so blue, a legion of mermaids gathered to break through. Their voices echoing like 1,000 sirens' call, as they prepared for battle against the dark squid's thrall. Together they wove a tapestry of shells and seaweed bright, and forged a harmony that echoed through the coral night. In Avalonia's realm of whispering crystal caves, a legion of starforgers gathered to forge their waves. Their hammers ringing like 1,000 tiny drums as they shaped the metal heart of ancient mystic thrones. Together they danced with creatures born from fire and forged a harmony that echoed through the cavern's desire. In Earth's realm of whispers, where petals fall like snow, a legion of dreamweavers gathered to sew, their looms humming like 1,000 gentle hives as they wove tapestries of moonlit threads that thrive. Together they danced with creatures born from dawn's light, and forged a harmony that echoed through the mystic night. In crystal caverns deep beneath the earth, a legion of subterranean songsters gave birth, their melodies echoing like 1,000 tiny streams, as they danced with gnomes that wove through ancient dreams. Together they twirled in perfect swirling flight, and forged a harmony that shone like starlight. In moonlit gardens where lotus flowers bloom, a legion of lunar fairies gathered to assume their positions for the grand ballet's start, where silken threads and starlight danced within their heart. Together they leaped with creatures born from night, and forged a harmony that echoed through the mystic light. In Nefarious kingdom beneath the burning sand, a legion of pyromancers gathered to take their stand, their flames dancing like 1,000 fiery wings as they prepared for battle against the dark dragon's rings. Together they forged a tapestry of blazing light, and forged a harmony that echoed through the scorching night. In Illyria's realm of shimmering aurora lights, a legion of luminari gathered to unite, their crystal wands shining like 1,000 tiny stars as they danced with creatures born from lunar scars. Together they twirled in perfect swirling flight and forged a harmony that shone like morning light. In Aethoria's kingdom of whispering leaves, a legion of leaf callers gathered to breathe, their voices weaving like 1,000 tiny streams as they danced with sylphs that wove through ancient dreams. Together they leaped in perfect swirling flight and forged a harmony that shone like morning light. In Starweaver's halls, where celestial tapestries unfold, a legion of stargazers gathered to behold the cosmic ballet's grandeur, a spectacle divine where constellations danced like diamonds in the vine. Together they leaped with astral creatures born from light and forged a harmony that echoed through the galaxy's sight. In Glimmerhaven's crystal caves, where iridescent blooms unfold, a legion of luminescents gathered to weave their tale of old, their ethereal threads shining like 1,000 tiny lights, as they danced with creatures born from moonbeams in the night. Together they forged a harmony that echoed through the caverns deep, and wove a tapestry of shimmering colors, secrets to keep. In Ixalonia's realm of shimmering silver mist, a legion of whispers gathered to resist, their ethereal voices weaving like 1,000 sighs as they danced with specters born from moonlit skies. Together they leaped in perfect swirling flight and forged a harmony that shone like the morning light. In Arin's gardens where rainbow petals unfold, a legion of songweavers gathered to tell their tale of old, their melodic threads shining like 1,000 tiny lights as they danced with creatures born from morning dew and night. Together they forged a harmony that echoed through the garden's heart and wove a tapestry of shimmering colors, secrets to impart. In moonlit meadows where wildflowers sway, a legion of lunar warriors gathered to slay the dark forces that threatened their peaceful land, their silver armor shining like 1,000 lights in hand. Together they charged with fairies born from dew, and forged a harmony that echoed through the night anew. In the Dreamwalker's realm where shadows danced and played, a legion of lunar dreamers gathered to weave their way, their ethereal threads shining like 1,000 stars above as they danced with creatures born from moonbeams and endless love. Together they leaped in perfect swirling flight and forged a harmony that echoed through the Dreamwalker's night. In Kaida's realm of auroral mist, a legion of star weavers gathered to persist, their shimmering threads shining like 1,000 lights as they danced with creatures born from lunar nights. Together they forged a harmony that echoed through the land and wove a tapestry of stardust, secrets to expand. In Jothic's realm of crystal caverns deep, a legion of shapers gathered to secrets keep, their skilled hands weaving like 1,000 threads of fate, as they crafted wonders born from ancient mystic state. Together they wove a harmony that echoed through the night, and forged a tapestry of starlight, shining with delight. In Avalon's Isle, where mermaids sing and sway, a legion of lunar maidens gathered to face the day, their shimmering scales shining like 1,000 pearls above, as they danced with creatures born from oceanic love. Together, they forged a harmony that echoed through the sea and wove a tapestry of stardust, secrets to set free. In Etheria's gardens, where petals bloomed and swayed, a legion of lunar florists gathered to display their mastery of colors, scents, and light divine, as they crafted blooms that shone like stars in vine. Together they forged a harmony that echoed through the land, and wove a tapestry of fragrance, secrets to expand. In Illyria's realm, where twilight whispers play, a legion of lunar knights gathered to slay. Their shining armor like 1,000 stars above, as they rode with creatures born from moonbeams and endless love. Together they charged in perfect galloping flight and forged a harmony that echoed through the night. In Kyrios' realm, where cypress trees preside, a legion of dreamweavers gathered to abide. Together they wove a harmony that echoed through the night and forged a tapestry of shadows, secrets to ignite. In Yaman's depths, where bioluminescent blooms abound, a legion of celestial dancers gathered to resound, their iridescent forms shining like 1,000 stars above, as they moved in harmony with creatures born from lunar love. Together they forged a rhythm that echoed through the night and wove a tapestry of starlight, secrets to ignite. In crystal caverns deep where crystalline streams flow, a legion of lunar seraphim gathered to know. Their shimmering wings beating like 1,000 drums above, as they sang with creatures born from starlight and endless love. Together they forged a harmony that echoed through the night, and wove a tapestry of stardust, secrets to unite. In Erthis' realm where misty veils descend, a legion of shadow dancers gathered to amend, their dark forms weaving like 1,000 threads of fate, as they crafted illusions born from mystic state. Together they wove a harmony that echoed through the night, and forged a tapestry of shadows, secrets to ignite. In Aetoria's gardens where auroral blooms unfold, a legion of solar fairies gathered to hold, their iridescent wings beating like 1,000 drums above, as they danced in harmony with creatures born from radiant love. Together they forged a rhythm that echoed through the night, and wove a tapestry of starlight, secrets to ignite. In Illyria's halls where crystal chimes resound, a legion of lunar warriors gathered to astound, their shining armor polished like 1,000 moons above, as they prepared for battle born from mystic love. Together they forged a rhythm that echoed through the night, and wove a tapestry of starlight, secrets to ignite. In Carius gardens where starflowers bloom and thrive, a legion of lunar songstresses gathered to revive, their ethereal voices blending like 1,000 hearts above, as they wove a tapestry of stardust, secrets to love. Together they forged a harmony that echoed through the night, and brought forth visions born from mystic, shining light. In Cheirethia's realm, where auroral waves crash, a legion of aquatic adepts gathered to clash, their shimmering scales glinting like 1,000 swords above, as they summoned creatures born from mystic, oceanic love. Together they forged a rhythm that echoed through the night, and wove a tapestry of starlight, secrets to excite. In Ixilonia's realm where moonflowers bloom and sway, a legion of stardust weavers gathered to weave by day, their delicate threads shimmering like 1,000 sparks above, as they crafted illusions born from mystic, lunar love. Together they forged that tapestry of starlight, secrets to unfold, and brought forth visions born from the cosmic tales yet untold. In Valtoria's caverns where crystals sing and shine, a legion of luminous guardians gathered to entwine, their iridescent wings beating like 1,000 drums above, as they forged a rhythm that echoed through the mystic love. Together they danced with creatures born from starlight bright, and wove a tapestry of light, secrets to ignite. In Etheria's city of whispers, where specters dance and play, a legion of wind callers gathered to weave their way, their ethereal voices whispering like 1,000 leaves above, as they summoned gusts born from mystic lunar love. Together they wove a tapestry of breezes, secrets to unfold, and brought forth visions born from the cosmic tales, yet untold. In Illyria's halls where crystal fountains flow, a legion of lunar poets gathered to bestow. Their quills of moonstone scratched like silken threads above, as they wove a tapestry of stardust, secrets to love. Together they crafted verses born from mystic shining light, and brought forth visions born from the cosmic tales of night. In Chaos' realm where astral blooms unfurl, a legion of stardust warriors gathered to whirl, their star-scarred armor glinting like 1,000 knives above, as they forged a rhythm that echoed through the cosmic love. Together they danced with creatures born from shooting stars bright, and wove a tapestry of light, secrets to ignite. In Nyxoria's depths where shadowy trees preside, a legion of moon whisperers gathered to abide, their silken voices whispering like 1,000 sighs above, as they wove a tapestry of darkness, secrets to love. Together they danced with creatures born from starless night, and brought forth visions born from the cosmic tales in flight. In Kyrios gardens, where lotus flowers bloom and sway, a legion of solar dancers gathered to play. Their iridescent wings beating like 1,000 drums above, as they forged a rhythm that echoed through the mystic love. Together I danced with creatures born from solar flames bright, and wove a tapestry of light, secrets to ignite. In Luminaria's city of echoes, where auroras dance and play, a legion of crystal singers gathered to weave their way. Their ethereal voices whispering like 1,000 harp strings above, as they summoned melodies born from mystic, shimmering love. Together they crafted harmonies that echoed through the cosmic night, and brought forth visions born from the celestial tales in flight. In Aitoria's realm where celestial waters flow, a legion of star weavers gathered to bestow their looms of stardust shimmering like 1,000 lights above as they wove a tapestry of magic, secrets to love. Together they danced with creatures born from shooting stars bright and brought forth visions born from the cosmic tales in flight. In Illyria's realm, where crystal caverns shine, a legion of songkeepers gathered to entwine their lyres of moonstone singing like 1,000 streams above as they forged a melody that echoed through the mystic love. Together, they danced with creatures born from shimmering light and wove a tapestry of harmony, secrets to ignite. In Valtoria's dreamscapes where starlight falls, a legion of lunar warriors gathered through it all, their armor shimmering like 1,000 moonbeams bright as they prepared for battle in the silent night. With every step, their footsteps echoed with might. Together they marched into the celestial fight. In Archaea's forest of whispers, where ancient trees preside, a legion of mooncallers gathered to abide, their ethereal voices whispering like 1,000 reeds above, as they summoned the secrets hidden in the mystic love. Together they wove a tapestry of magic spells to unfold, and brought forth visions born from the lunar tales to be told. In Ixylonia's realm, where iridescent mist ascends, a legion of dawnbreakers gathered to amend, their harpoons shining like 1,000 suns above as they pierced the veil of twilight. Secrets to love. Together they danced with creatures born from morning dew and wove a tapestry of light, tales to imbue. In Kaidira's realm of shimmering aurora lights, a legion of stardrifters gathered through endless nights, their ships of starlight sailing like 1,000 wings above, as they rode the cosmic tides, secrets to love. Together they danced with creatures born from shooting stars bright, and wove a tapestry of magic, tales to ignite. In Nefaria's abyss where shadows reign, a legion of night wraiths gathered to sustain their dark wings fluttering like 1,000 sighs above, as they forged a melody that echoed through the mystic love. Together they danced with creatures born from midnight dew, and wove a tapestry of darkness, secrets to imbue. In Illyria's realm where crystal caverns gleam, a legion of star weavers gathered to weave a dream, their looms shining like 1,000 stars above, as they wove the fabric of fate with threads of endless love. Together they danced with creatures born from stardust bright, and forged a tapestry of magic, tales to ignite. In curious gardens where lotus blooms unfold, a legion of dreamwalkers gathered to behold, their steps silent as 1,000 leaves above, as they navigated paths of mystic love and endless love. Together they danced with creatures born from scents so sweet, and wove a tapestry of magic, secrets to repeat. In Aetoria's realm where moonlit waters flow, a legion of luminari gathered to bestow, their whispers weaving like 1,000 threads above, as they sang a melody that echoed through the mystic love. Together they danced with creatures born from lunar rays bright, and forged a tapestry of magic, tales to ignite. In Ixilonia's realm where iridescent mists descend, a legion of aeromancers gathered to attend. Their wings aflutter like 1,000 leaves above, as they summoned winds that whispered secrets of endless love. Together they danced with creatures born from cloud and air bright, and wove a tapestry of magic, tales to ignite. In Archaea's city where spires touch the sky, a legion of chronokeepers gathered to apply their clocks, a tick like 1,000 hearts above, as they synchronized time with threads of endless love. Together they danced with creatures born from clockwork gears bright, and wove a tapestry of magic, moments to ignite. In Valtoria's labyrinth where shadows play, a legion of nightwalkers gathered to slay, their whispers weaving like 1,000 threads above, as they stalked their prey through paths of mystic love. Together they danced with creatures born from darkness bright, and forged a tapestry of magic, fierce to ignite. In Glimmerhaven's halls where crystal spires shine, a legion of star dancers gathered to entwine. Their steps a tap like 1,000 stars above, as they wove a tapestry of magic, love to prove. Together they danced with creatures born from light bright, and forged a bond between the cosmos and their sight. In Illyria's realm where auroral skies unfold, a legion of dawnwalkers gathered to hold. Their blades a glitter like 1,000 dew-kissed leaves above, as they prepared for battle with valorous love. Together they marched with creatures born from morning light bright, and forged a bond between the sun and their sight. In Kyrios gardens where flowers bloom and sway, a legion of floracles gather to engage. Their petals a-flutter like 1,000 leaves above, as they wove a tapestry of magic, sense to prove. Together they danced with creatures born from pollen bright, and forged a bond between the earth and their delight. In Aetheria's citadel where moonlight pours, a legion of lunar guardians gathered to roar. Their drums a beat like 1,000 hearts above, as they prepared for battle against the darkness love. Together they marched with creatures born from stardust bright, and forged a bond between the cosmos and their might. In Corallia's kingdom where coral reefs abide, a legion of mermaids gathered to glide. Their scales a shimmer like 1,000 jewels bright, as they prepared for battle against the dark of night. Together they danced with creatures born from seaweed sway, and forged a bond between the ocean and their bay. In abyssal heaven's depths where darkness reigns, a legion of shadow dancers gathered to sustain. Their steps a tap like 1,000 midnight sighs above, as they wove a tapestry of magic, shadows to prove. Together they danced with creatures born from starless night, bright, and forged a bond between the void and their mystic sight. In crystal caverns deep beneath the earth, a legion of gem walkers gathered to unfurl their mirth. Their footsteps echoed like 1,000 crystals bright, as they prepared for battle against the darkness plight. Together they marched with creatures born from gemstone light, and forged a bond between the rocks and their delight. In Illyria's gardens, where iridescent blooms unfold, a legion of oracles gather to behold. Their petals aglow like 1,000 lanterns bright, as they wove a tapestry of magic, light to excite. Together they danced with creatures born from starlight's sway, and forged a bond between the dawn and their radiant way. In Glimmerhaven's palace, where mirrors reign, a legion of spectrock knights gathered to sustain. Their armor aglow like 1,000 starry lights above, as they prepared for battle against the darkness' cruel love. Together they marched with creatures born from glassy tears bright, and forged a bond between the reflections and their mystic sight. In astral realms where stardust falls, a legion of starweavers gathered to enthrall. Their threads spin like celestial harp strings bright, as they crafted tapestries of wonder, stars to excite. Together they wove with creatures born from cosmic night, and forged a bond between the galaxies and their radiant light. In Twilight's hollows, where whispers reign, a legion of whisper keepers gathered in vain. Their silken threads a-twirl like ethereal winds above, as they wove a tapestry of secrets, whispers to prove. Together they danced with creatures born from shadowy sighs bright, and forged a bond between the darkness and their mystic might. In moonlit meadows where wildflowers sway, a legion of dream catchers gathered to stay. Their silken threads a-twirl like lunar beams above, as they wove a tapestry of slumber, dreams to prove. Together they danced with creatures born from night's dark shade, and forged a bond between the shadows and their mystic aid. In crystal caverns where echoes reign, a legion of whisper forgers gathered to sustain. Their chisels a-sing like crystalline harp strings bright, as they crafted mirrors of the soul's dark light. Together they shaped with creatures born from shadowy tears, and forged a bond between the depths and their mystic fears. In emerald forests where ancient secrets sleep, a legion of leaf callers gathered to keep. Their whispers a soft like summer breeze above, as they awakened trees to dance and love. Together they swayed with creatures born from earthy sighs bright, and forged a bond between the land and their mystic might. In fiery depths where lava flows like golden seas, a legion of pyromancers gathered to ease their flames a-twirl like dancing sparks above, as they crafted forgifiers that forged love. Together, they battled with creatures born from burning coal bright, and forged a bond between the flames and their mystic might. In starlight gardens where auroras bloom, a legion of star dancers gathered to resume their steps a-twirl like comets in the night above, as they choreographed cosmic waltzes, love to prove. Together they spun with creatures born from stardust bright, and forged a bond between the heavens and their mystic flight. In mystic labyrinths where shadows weave and play, a legion of moonweavers gathered to sway, their silken threads a-twirl like lunar beams above, as they crafted tapestries of mystery to prove. Together they danced with creatures born from starry skies bright, and forged a bond between the night and their mystic might. In sapphire cities where waves crash and roar, a legion of equerry gathered to explore, their shells a-glisten like polished jewels bright, as they crafted gates that flowed with ocean's light. Together they swam with creatures born from tides so dark, and forged a bond between the depths and their mystic spark. In crystal caves where ancient wisdom sleeps, a chorus of crystallers gathered to keep their whispers a-soft like morning dew above, as they awakened echoes to dance and love. Together they sang with creatures born from glacial skies bright, and forged a bond between the earth and their mystic might. In gardens of jade where petals bloom and sway, a legion of verdant warriors gathered to slay, their blades a-glisten like emerald shards above, as they battled foes born from the forest's darkened love. Together they clashed with creatures born from leaves so bright, and forged a bond between the earth and their mystic might. In twilight realms where aurora borealis reigns, a legion of lunar knights gathered to sustain, their steeds a-glisten like starlight in the night above, as they rode forth to conquer shadows and endless love. Together they charged with creatures born from cosmic dust bright, and forged a bond between the stars and their mystic flight. In realms of silver mist, where lunar flowers bloom, a legion of dawnkeepers gathered to resume, their harps a-twirl like morning dew above, as they sang of secrets hidden in the cosmic glove. Together they danced with creatures born from auroral light, and forged a bond between the dawn and their mystic sight. In mystic isles where auroral waves do crash, a chorus of siren singers gathered to dash, their lyres a-glisten like polished shells above, as they wove an enchanted net to entwine with love. Together they sang with creatures born from foamy tides bright, and forged a bond between the sea and their mystic sight. In star-scorched dunes where golden sands do slide, a legion of lunar archers gathered to abide, their bows a-glisten like polished quartz above, as they aimed their arrows at the darkened love. Together they fired with creatures born from desert winds bright, and forged a bond between the stars and their mystic might. In gardens of moonstone where petals bloom and fade, a legion of dreamweavers gathered to parade, their looms glisten like silken threads above, as they wove an enchanted tapestry with endless love. Together they worked with creatures born from night's dark shade, and forged a bond between the dreams and their mystic trade. In emerald cities where iridescent wings unfold, a legion of windrunners gathered to behold, their feathers a-glisten like polished jade above, as they rode forth on gusts of mystic love. Together they soared with creatures born from clouds bright, and forged a bond between the skies and their aerial flight. In crystal caverns hidden deep below, a legion of night shapers gathered to bestow, their staffs a-glisten like polished obsidian above, as they wove an enchanted spell to calm the wolf. Together they danced with creatures born from shadowy night, and forged a bond between the darkness and their mystic sight. In silken realms where silver mist does rise, a legion of dawnkeepers gathered to surprise. Their drums a thunder like polished steel above, as they forged an ancient pact to seal their love. Together they marched with creatures born from morning dew, and forged a bond between the light and their mystic crew. In auroral meadows where wildflowers bloom and sway, a legion of starforgers gathered to ignite their day. Their hammers a thunder like polished steel above, as they forged an enchanted sword with endless love. Together they worked with creatures born from dawn's first ray, and forged a bond between the light and their mystic way. In mystic isles where jade waters flow, a legion of wave colors gathered to and fro. Their conchs a glisten like polished shells above, as they summoned tides to join their endless love. Together they marched with creatures born from sea foam bright, and forged a bond between the waves and their mystic might. In mirrored halls where starlight pours, a legion of dreamweavers gather to explore. Their looms a glisten like polished silver above, as they wove an enchanted tapestry to capture love. Together they danced with creatures born from moonbeams bright, and forged a bond between the dreams and their mystic sight. In lunar gardens hidden from the sun, a legion of moonblades gathered, their dance begun. Their swords a glisten like polished silver bright, as they forged an enchanted bond to fight for what is right. Together they marched with creatures born from dreamless sleep, and forged a pact between the shadows and their mystic deep. In crystal caverns hidden deep below, a legion of songkeepers gathered to bestow. Their lyres a tingle like polished silver bright, as they wove an enchanted melody to take flight. Together they sang with creatures born from gemstone earth, and forged a bond between the music and their mystic rebirth. In twilight realms where iridescent mists unfold, a legion of mistwalkers gather to behold. Their footsteps a soft like falling snow above, as they marched an enchanted path to endless love. Together they journeyed with creatures born from shadowy night, and forged a bond between the darkness and their mystic light. In sapphire jungles hidden from the dawn, a legion of song-seeders gathered to be born. Their voices glisten like polished shells above, as they sang an enchanted melody to capture love. Together they danced with creatures born from petals bright, and forged a bond between the flowers and their mystic light. In mystic realms of astral fire, a legion of star dancers gathered to aspire. Their steps aglow like embers bright as they forged an enchanted path through the celestial night. Together they danced with creatures born from falling stars, and wove a tapestry of wonder, near and far. In twilight's whispering woods, I chanced upon a band of shadow callers gathering, hand in mystic hand, their drums a-thrumming like ancient heartbeat deep, as they summoned forth the secrets that the shadows keep. Together they danced with creatures born from darkest night, and forged a bond between the darkness and their mystic light. In moonlit gardens hidden from the sun, a legion of dreamweavers gathered to have fun. Their looms a-thrumming like silken threads above, as they wove an enchanted tapestry to capture love. Together they danced with creatures born from stardust bright, and forged a bond between the cosmos and their mystic light. In realms of crystal caverns deep, a legion of glass stalkers gathered to keep their whispers a shimmer like frost above, as they forged an enchanted bond of endless love. Together they journeyed with creatures born from mirrored night, and wove a tapestry of wonder, shining bright. In verdant valleys hidden from the sea, a legion of wild songers gathered to be free. Their voices glisten like wind chimes bright, as they sang an enchanted melody to capture light. Together they danced with creatures born from leaves, and forged a bond between the trees and their mystic eaves. In scintillating cities hidden beneath the waves, a legion of equari gathered to amaze. Their forms glisten like iridescent scales above, as they forged an enchanted bond of endless love. Together they danced with creatures born from coral bright, and wove a tapestry of wonder, shimmering in delight. In twilight's realm of forgotten dreams, a legion of moon whisperers gathered, it seems, their silken threads a shimmer like starlight bright, as they wove an enchanted tapestry to capture night. Together they danced with creatures born from lunar fire, and forged a bond between the shadows and their mystic desire. In realms of frozen mist, where auroras play, a legion of frostborn warriors gathered to slay. Their blades a-glisten like icicles above, as they forged an enchanted bond of endless love. Together they marched with creatures born from snowflakes white, and wove a tapestry of wonder, shimmering in the night. In mystic realms of luminous twilights fade, a legion of star weavers gathered, their threads to trade. Their looms a-glisten like stardust in the air, as they forged an enchanted tapestry beyond compare. Together they danced with creatures born from shooting stars, and wove a cosmos of wonder, infinite and scarred. In mystical realms of gossamer mist, a legion of dawnkeepers gathered to persist. Their harps a-glisten like sunrise bright, as they sang an enchanted melody to ignite. Together they danced with creatures born from morning dew, and wove a tapestry of wonder, shimmering anew. In shadowy realms of forgotten lore, a legion of night stalkers gathered, evermore. Their shadows danced upon the ground, as they forged an enchanted bond, unbound. Together they marched with creatures born from midnight's sway, and wove a tapestry of darkness to seize the day. In emerald realms of ancient forest deep, a legion of leaf-callers gathered to keep their whispers woven like a tapestry so fine, as they summoned creatures born from leaves divine. Together they danced with fairies light as air, and wove a bond between the trees and their mystic care. In crystal caves of shimmering ice and stone, a legion of song weavers gathered to atone. Their lyres a-glisten like frosty morning dew, as they forged an enchanted melody anew. Together they danced with creatures born from frozen tears, and wove a tapestry of sorrow, echoing through the years. In shimmering realms of auroral dawn, a legion of sky dancers gathered to be born. Their wings a-glisten like sunrise bright and bold, as they forged an enchanted dance to unfold. Together they leaped with creatures born from morning light, and wove a tapestry of wonder, shining so bright. In silken realms of moonlit silver sea, a legion of dream catchers gathered to be free. Their nets a-glisten like starlight in the night, as they wove an enchanted web to entwine with delight. Together they danced with creatures born from lunar dew, and chased the shadows that their dreams pursued anew. In mystic realms of forgotten sands, a legion of dune runners gathered at command, their footsteps swift as desert winds that blow, as they forged an enchanted bond to grow. Together they ran with creatures born from shifting dunes, and chased the shadows that their secrets pursue. In realms of liquid silver, where moonlit waters flow, a legion of lullaby singers gathered long ago. Their gentle harmonies a soothing balm to the soul, as they summon creatures born from ripples and waves' control. Together they danced with mermaids, shimmering like the sea, and wove a tapestry of tranquility. In twilight's hollow, where shadows come to play, a legion of lantern bearers gathered at the bay. Their lights a-glisten like fireflies on summer nights, as they forged an enchanted procession through the darkening lights. Together they marched with creatures born from mist and dew, and wove a tapestry of mystery. In crystal caverns deep beneath the earth, a legion of echoes gathered to give rebirth, their whispers echoing like a chorus of old, as they summoned creatures born from secrets untold. Together they danced with shadowy forms so fine, and wove a tapestry of darkness intertwined. In realms of auroral dawn, where solar winds do blow, a legion of aurora warriors gathered to bestow, their armor shining like the sun's first rays, as they forged an enchanted bond in sacred ways. Together they danced with creatures born from light and fire, and chased the shadows that their valor would acquire. In secret gardens hidden deep inside, a legion of moonflowers bloomed with pride. Their petals shimmered like the night's dark shade, as they summoned creatures born from lunar glade. Together they danced with dream weavers, tall and fair, and wove a tapestry of enchantment beyond compare. In realms of starry silence, where galaxies unfold, a legion of star dancers gathered young and old. Their footsteps echoed like a cosmic drumbeat deep, as they summoned creatures born from nebular sweep. Together they danced with lunar dragons, fierce and bright, and wove a tapestry of celestial light. In mystic forests where ancient trees preside, a legion of leaf callers gathered to abide, their whispers weaving like a gentle breeze, as they summoned creatures born from forest ease. Together they marched with fernfolk tall and bright, and forged an enchanted path through morning's light. In moonlit archipelagos, where waves do caress, a legion of lunar merfolk gathered to address, their voices whispering like a gentle tide, as they summoned creatures born from ocean's pride. Together they danced with sea serpents, long and bright, and wove a tapestry of aquatic delight. In crystal caverns deep beneath the earth, a legion of gemstone warriors gave their birth, their armor shining like a diamond's fire, as they forged an enchanted bond to never tire. Together they marched with creatures born from stone and flame, and fought for justice in the secret realm's great name. In auroral meadows where dawn's warm light does play, a legion of sunblades gathered to display, their blades shining like a golden sunrise bright, as they summoned creatures born from morning's delight. Together they danced with solar sprites, swift and fair, and forged an enchanted path through dewy air. In twilight's whisper, where shadows softly fall, a legion of dream weavers gathered, one and all. Their looms humming like a gentle summer breeze, as they wove tapestries born from moonlit ease. Together they danced with lunar foxes, swift and bright, and crafted enchanted garments through the endless night. In starlit oses where sand dunes softly gleam, a legion of astral archers gathered to beam, their bows shining like a constellation's fire, as they summoned creatures born from celestial desire. Together they marched with stardust unicorns, pure and bright, and forged an enchanted path through the desert's endless night. In mystic gardens hidden from the sun's warm light, a legion of moonflowers bloomed with gentle might, their petals shimmering like a lunar queen's disguise, as they summoned creatures born from nocturnal surprise. Together they danced with shadow wolves dark and sleek, and wove an enchanted tapestry through the midnight creek. In iridescent waters where mermaids softly sway, a legion of pearl divers gathered to play, their shells shining like a treasure trove's delight, as they summoned creatures born from oceanic light. Together they danced with sea serpents, ancient and wise, and forged an enchanted path through the waves' dark surprise. In crystal caverns where frosty crystals gleam, a legion of aurora knights gathered to beam, their armor shining like a celestial display, as they summoned creatures born from winter's ray. Together they marched with snowflake unicorns, pure and bright, and forged an enchanted path through the frozen night. In dreamscapes hidden from the waking sun's warm light, a legion of shadow dancers gathered through the night, their footsteps whispering like a zephyr's gentle sigh, as they summoned creatures born from twilight's mystic eye. Together they danced with ghostly horses, ethereal and bright, and wove an enchanted tapestry through the shadow's silent might. In realms of aether, where wispy clouds are born, a legion of wind harpists gathered to adorn, their strings shining like a celestial fanfare bright, as they summoned creatures born from morning's first light. Together they marched with cloud dragons, fierce and free, and forged an enchanted path through the sky's wild glee. In mystic forests where ancient trees preside, a legion of dryad warriors stood with pride, their leaves shimmering like a verdant shield, as they summoned creatures born from forest's yield. Together they marched with centaurs, wild and free, and forged an enchanted path through the wood's dark glee. In moonlit gardens where silver petals sway, a legion of lunar fairies dance to play, their wings shining like a starry night's delight, as they summoned creatures born from moonbeams' light. Together they twirled with phoenixes, fiery and bright, and wove an enchanted tapestry through the shadow's silent night. In starlit oases where celestial fountains play, a legion of stardust warriors gathered to slay, their armor shining like a galaxy's radiant display, as they summoned creatures born from shooting stars' ray. Together they marched with nebula unicorns, ethereal and bright, and forged an enchanted path through the cosmic night. In crystal caves where icicle chandeliers gleam, a legion of frost nymphs gathered to weave a dream, their fingers moving like 1,000 tiny streams as they summoned creatures born from winter's icy beams. Together they danced with arctic unicorns, pure and bright, and forged an enchanted path through the frozen night. In realms of auroral dawn, where solar nights convene to take their sworn, their armor shining like 1,000 fiery rays, as they summoned creatures born from solar blaze. Together they marched with comet dragons, fierce and bright, and forged an enchanted path through the morning's golden light. In mystic cities built upon Aether's sigh, a legion of wind sorcerers danced across the sky, their robes fluttering like 1,000 silken wings, as they summoned creatures born from Zephyr's gentle rings. Together they wove an enchanted tapestry so fine with star spiders, lunar foxes, and auroral serpents that shine. In emerald jungles where iridescent flowers sway, a legion of leaf callers gathered to play, their voices weaving like 1,000 tiny strings as they summoned creatures born from forest's mystic wings. Together they twirled with gilded falcons, swift and bright, and danced an enchanted waltz through the verdant night. In lunar gardens where moonflowers bloom, a legion of dreamweavers gathered to resume, their looms humming like 1,000 silken streams as they wove tapestries from slumber's mystic dreams. Together they danced with shadow unicorns, dark and bright, and forged an enchanted path through the silver night. In sapphire depths where mermaids sing, a chorus of sirens gathered to ring, their voices echoing like 1,000 waves, as they summoned creatures born from ocean's caves. Together they marched with sea serpents, dark and bright, and forged an enchanted path through the midnight light. In crystal caverns where starlight pours, a legion of luminari gathered to explore, their lanterns shining like 1,000 tiny fires, as they summoned creatures born from celestial desires. Together they danced with stardust fairies, delicate and bright, and forged an enchanted path through the glittering night. In twilight's whispering dells, a legion of moon whisperers gathered to tell, their lutes singing like 1,000 silver streams, as they summoned creatures born from lunar dreams. Together they danced with shadow dragons, dark and bright, and forged an enchanted path through the starlight's pale light. In scarlet deserts where dunes of sand do rise, a legion of wind callers gather to surprise, their voices whispering like 1,000 gentle zephyrs' sighs, as they summoned creatures born from desert's mystic fires that rise. Together they danced with fiery centaurs, swift and bright, and forged an enchanted path through the crimson light. In auroral cities where dawnlight pours, a legion of aurorans gathered to explore, their wings shining like 1,000 radiant rays, as they summoned creatures born from solar ways. Together they danced with luminous sprites, delicate and bright, and forged an enchanted path through the morning's golden light. In emerald forests, where ancient trees preside, a council of dryads gathered to abide, their leaves rustling like 1,000 gentle brooks, as they summoned creatures born from mystic looks. Together they marched with centaurs, wild and free, and forged an enchanted path through the wilderness sea. In iridescent waters where mermaids sing, a chorus of sirens gathered to bring their voices weaving like 1,000 silken threads, as they summoned creatures born from underwater beds. Together they danced with mermen, strong and free, and forged an enchanted path through the ocean's glee. In crystal caverns where gemstones whisper low, a legion of gnomes gathered to sew their axes, singing like 1,000 tiny hammers beat, as they summoned creatures born from ancient Earth's repeat. Together they fought with giant golems, slow and strong, and forged an enchanted path through the mountain's heart so long. In moonlit gardens where petals unfold, a host of lunar fairies gathered to hold their whispered secrets like 1,000 gentle leaves, as they summoned creatures born from silvery eaves. Together they waltzed with starlight serpents, bright and free, and forged an enchanted path through the midnight's glee. In sapphire cities where twilight whispers low, a fellowship of lunar knights gathered to know their noble code like 1,000 shining spires, as they summoned creatures born from starry fires. Together they rode with celestial charges, swift and bright, and forged an enchanted path through the evening's delight. In auroral skies where solar winds do blow, a legion of winged lions gathered to and fro, their manes afire like comets in the night, as they summoned creatures born from celestial light. Together they soared with dragons, fierce and free, and forged an enchanted path through the dawn's decree. In starry deserts where diamonds gleam, a caravan of stardust merchants made their beam, their camels singing like 1,000 gentle hoes, as they summoned creatures born from lunar flows. Together they traded with moon foxes, sly and bright, and forged an enchanted path through the night's delight. In emerald forests where ancient trees preside, a company of leaf-callers gather to abide, their whispers weaving like 1,000 tender shoots, as they summoned creatures born from verdant roots. Together they danced with forest sprites, wild and free, and forged an enchanted path through the woodland's glee. In crystalline caverns where frozen waterfalls shine, a legion of iceborne warriors gathered to entwine their frost-bitten blades like 1,000 sparkling spires, as they summoned creatures born from winter's fires. Together they marched with aurora bears, majestic and bright, and forged an enchanted path through the icy night. In dreamscapes where lotus flowers bloom and fade, a troupe of shadow dancers gathered to parade, their steps weaving like 1,000 silken threads as they summoned creatures born from moonlit sheds. Together they glided with lunar serpents, sleek and bright, and forged an enchanted path through the midnight's light. In sapphire skies where morning sunbeams play, a host of sky serpents gathered to slay, their scales like polished jade in shimmering light, as they summoned creatures born from starry night. Together they clashed with winged horses, fierce and bold, and forged an enchanted path through the dawn's unfold. In crimson mountains where fiery lava flows, a legion of pyromancers gathered to bestow their mastery of flames like 1,000 burning torches bright, as they summoned creatures born from molten light. Together they marched with dragonkin, fierce and bold, and forged an enchanted path through the volcanic fold. In mystic realms of iridescent mist, a conclave of astral singers gathered to persist, their voices weaving like 1,000 silken threads, as they summoned creatures born from stardust's whispers and spreads. Together they harmonized with lunar foxes, swift and bright, and forged an enchanted path through the celestial night. In mystic gardens where moonflowers bloom and thrive, a gathering of lunar knights convened to strive, their armor shining like 1,000 stars above, as they summoned creatures born from lunar love. Together they charged with stardust unicorns, pure and bright, and forged an enchanted path through the silver light. In crystal caverns where icy crystals gleam, a troupe of frost dancers gathered to scheme, their steps weaving like 1,000 glittering threads as they summoned creatures born from winter's steady heads. Together they glided with ice bears, majestic and strong, and forged an enchanted path through the frozen song. In twilight's shadow where forgotten rivers sleep, a legion of dream weavers gathered to keep their vigilance like sentinels of moonlit night, as they summoned creatures born from star-crossed light. Together they wove with lunar spiders, swift and sly, and forged an enchanted tapestry across the evening sky. In shimmering cities built on iridescent tides, a chorus of mermaids sang their mysticides, their voices entwining like 1,000 sapphire threads, as they summoned creatures born from ocean's secret beds. Together they danced with selkies, sleek and strong and free, and forged an enchanted path across the shimmering sea. In starlit gardens where petal flowers bloom, a conclave of lunar archers gathered to assume their positions like 1,000 silken threads, as they summoned creatures born from moonlight's gentle heads. Together they fired with stardust dragons, fierce and bright, and forged an enchanted path through the celestial night. In mystic forests where silver leaves unfold, a procession of lunar fairies gathered to hold their rituals like 1,000 moonlit threads, as they summoned creatures born from dream's gentle heads. Together they danced with mist dragons, veiled and strong, and wove an enchanted tapestry across the morning's song. In scarlet deserts where crimson sands do sleep, a legion of fire dancers gathered to creep, their steps weaving like 1,000 fiery threads, as they summoned creatures born from blazing heads. Together they danced with inferno dragons, fierce and bright, and forged an enchanted path through the burning night. In crystal caverns where gemstones sang a song, a chorus of crystal singers gathered strong, their voices entwining like 1,000 sapphire threads, as they summoned creatures born from ancient quartz heads. Together they danced with crystal dragons, fierce and bright, and forged an enchanted path through the shimmering light. In auroral realms where dawn's first light does creep, a host of solar sprites gathered to keep their vigil like 1,000 golden threads, as they summoned creatures born from solar heads. Together they danced with blazing starlings, swift and free, and forged an enchanted path through the morning's glee. In forgotten cities where clockwork spires do rise, a legion of timekeepers gathered with eager eyes, their gears whirring like 1,000 mechanical hearts, as they summoned creatures born from ticking parts. Together they crafted intricate clockwork dragons, strong and free, and forged an enchanted path through the city's symphony. In twilight's hush where shadows softly fall, a gathering of night blooming flowers enthrall, their petals unfolding like 1,000 veils so fine, as they welcomed creatures born from moonlit Zion. Together they danced with lunar foxes, swift and bright, and wove an enchanted tapestry across the silent night. In moonlit gardens where silver fountains play, a troop of lunar jesters gathered to sway, their laughter echoing like 1,000 silvery strings, as they summoned creatures born from mythic rings. Together they danced with dreamweavers, swift and bright, and wove an enchanted fabric through the starry night. In mystic archipelagos where ocean spirits roam, a legion of merfolk gathered to call their home, their voices echoing like 1,000 coral shells, as they summoned creatures born from sea-salted dells. Together they crafted intricate kelp dragons, strong and free, and forged an enchanted path through the waves' symphony. In crystal caverns, where glittering icicles do shine, a legion of frost giants gathered to entwine their icy tendrils like 1,000 frozen hearts, as they summoned creatures born from winter's darkest arts. Together they danced with snow wolves, swift and free, and forged an enchanted path through the frozen symphony. In starweavers' halls where celestial tapestries do shine, a legion of star dancers gathered to entwine their ethereal threads like 1,000 glittering keys, as they summoned creatures born from cosmic melodies. Together they wove an enchanted fabric through the galaxy's heart, and forged an astral path that would never depart. In emerald cities where crystal spires do tower, a legion of leaf callers gathered to shower their verdant petals like 1,000 autumn leaves, as they summoned creatures born from forest breezes' eaves. Together they danced with wildwood sprites, swift and free, and wove an enchanted harmony through the trees. In sapphire deserts where mirage winds do blow, a legion of sand mages gathered to bestow their mastery of ancient earth and mystic stone, as they summoned creatures born from the dunes alone. Together they danced with star striders, swift and free, and forged an enchanted pathway through the shifting sea. In sapphire deserts where mirage winds do blow, a legion of sand mages gathered to bestow their mastery of ancient earth and mystic stone, as they summoned creatures born from the dunes alone. Together they danced with star striders, swift and free, and forged an enchanted pathway through the shifting sea. In moonlit gardens where jasmine blooms unfold, a legion of lunar elves gathered to hold their enchanted festival beneath the starry sky. As they danced with dream weavers swift and by, together they crafted illusions shimmering bright and wove an astral tapestry through the night. In auroral caverns where rainbow waters do flow, a legion of Aurorans gathered to bestow their mastery of dawn's celestial might. As they summoned creatures born from morning light, together they danced with solar steeds, swift and free, and forged an enchanted pathway through the shimmering sea. In twilight's silence where shadows come alive, a legion of ghost callers gathered to thrive. Their whispers wove a spectral tapestry so fine, as they summoned creatures born from moonlight's shrine. Together they danced with spectre steeds, swift and free, and forged an enchanted pathway through eternity. In crystal cathedrals where ice flowers bloom and sway, a legion of frost weavers gathered to display their mastery of winter's mystic frozen art. As they summoned creatures born from snowy heart, together they danced with glacial sprites, swift and free, and wove an enchanted harmony through the crystal sea. In emerald forests where ancient trees preside, a legion of leaf callers gathered to abide their mastery of verdant magic and mystic might. As they summoned creatures born from morning light, together they danced with forest spirits, wild and free, and forged an enchanted harmony through the emerald sea. In nebulous nebulae, where starlight does unfold, a legion of stellarlings gathered to behold their mastery of celestial harmony and might, as they summoned creatures born from cosmic light. Together they danced with astral steeds, swift and free, and forged an enchanted pathway through the galaxy. In lunar gardens where silvery fountains play, a legion of dreamweavers gathered to sway their mastery of slumber's mystic secret art. As they summoned creatures born from twilight's heart, together they danced with lunar sprites, swift and free, and wove an enchanted tapestry through the starry sea. In mirrored halls where crystal waters flow, a legion of songweavers gathered to bestow their mastery of harmony and mystic might, as they summoned creatures born from morning light. Together they danced with melody sprites, swift and free, and forged an enchanted harmony through the crystalline sea. In mystic cities built upon aether's might, a legion of sky dancers gathered to take flight. Their mastery of wind and cloud-born art summoned creatures born from the starry heart. Together they danced with aromances, swift and free, and forged an enchanted harmony through the ethereal sea. In crystal caverns where iridescent walls did gleam, a legion of lumineers gathered to weave their dream. Their mastery of light and mystic might summoned creatures born from starry night. Together they danced with glow sprites, swift and free, and forged an enchanted harmony through the crystalline sea. In forgotten forests where ancient trees preside, a legion of leaf-callers gathered, side by side. Their mastery of woodland magic and might summoned creatures born from morning's first light. Together they danced with forest sprites, swift and free, and wove an enchanted harmony through the leafy sea. In astral realms, where stardust whispers low, a legion of chronokeepers gathered to bestow their mastery of time and mystic might as they summoned creatures born from celestial light. Together they danced with hour sprites, swift and free, and forged an enchanted harmony through the cosmic sea. In mystic gardens where moonflowers bloom and thrive, a legion of dreamweavers gathered to entwine their mastery of slumber and mystic might, summoned creatures born from midnight's darkest night. Together they danced with shadow sprites, swift and free, and wove an enchanted harmony through the velvet sea. In silken cities built upon a sea of glass, a legion of moon hunters gathered to amass their mastery of lunar magic and mystic might, summoned creatures born from the midnight's light. Together they danced with starlight serpents, swift and free, and forged an enchanted harmony through the liquid sea. In mirrored halls where silver waters flow, a legion of glasswalkers gather to and fro. Their mastery of reflection and mystic might summoned creatures born from morning's first light. Together they danced with mirror sprites, swift and free, and wove an enchanted harmony through the rippled sea. In twilight's depths where iridescent mists did play, a legion of shadow dancers gathered to sway their mastery of darkness and mystic might. Summoned creatures born from moonless night, together they danced with phantom wolves, swift and free, and forged an enchanted harmony through the velvet sea. In crystal caverns where frozen crystals shine, a legion of glaciancers gathered to align their mastery of ice and mystic might, summoned creatures born from winter's darkest night. Together they danced with frost sprites, swift and free, and forged an enchanted harmony through the icy sea. In astral realms where stardust whispers low, a legion of cosmic warriors gathered to and go. Their mastery of celestial magic and mystic might summoned creatures born from supernova's blinding light. Together they danced with star-forged dragons, swift and free, and forged an enchanted harmony through the galaxy's sea. In mystic jungles where emerald canopies unfold, a legion of leaf-callers gathered to take hold. Their mastery of verdant magic and mystic might summoned creatures born from ancient primal light. Together they danced with forest sprites, swift and free, and wove an enchanted harmony through the lush sea. In twilight's hollows where gossamer veils did part, a legion of moon whisperers gathered to embark their mastery of lunar magic and mystic might, summoned creatures born from midnight's darkest light. Together they danced with spectral horses, swift and free, and wove an enchanted harmony through the shadow's sea. In nebulous realms where astral winds did blow, a legion of stellar-lancers gathered to bestow their mastery of celestial magic and mystic might, summoned creatures born from fallen stars' pale light. Together they danced with auroral dragons, swift and free, and wove an enchanted harmony through the cosmic sea. In mystic archipelagos, where sapphire waters shine, a legion of aquatic sorcerers gathered to entwine their mastery of ocean magic and mystic might, summoned creatures born from coral reefs' delight. Together they danced with merrow maidens, swift and free, and forged an enchanted harmony through the wave symphony. In crystal caverns where facets shine like dew, a legion of crystalline warriors gathered anew. Their mastery of mineral magic and mystic might summoned creatures born from gemstones' secret light. Together they danced with iridescent serpents, swift and free, and forged an enchanted harmony through the geodes' symphony. In auroral meadows where solar flowers bloom, a legion of dawn keepers gathered to resume their mastery of solar magic and mystic might, summoned creatures born from morning's golden light. Together they danced with winged horses, swift and free, and forged an enchanted harmony through the cosmic sea. In shadow realms where umbra creatures roam, a legion of nightwalkers gathered to call home their mastery of dark magic and mystic might, summoned entities born from starless night's pale light. Together they danced with phantom steeds, swift and free, and wove an enchanted harmony through the shadow sea. In lunar gardens where silver petals bloom, a legion of moonweavers gathered to assume their mastery of silvery magic and mystic might, summoned creatures born from lunar eclipses' pale light. Together they danced with spectral unicorns, swift and free, and forged an enchanted harmony through the cosmic sea. In forgotten valleys where amethyst twilight falls, a legion of stardust warriors gathered to enthrall their mastery of celestial magic and mystic might, summoned creatures born from shooting starlight's delight. Together they danced with lunar foxes, swift and free, and forged an enchanted harmony through the cosmic sea. In dreamscapes deep where lotus flowers bloom, a legion of lunar knights gathered to resume their mastery of astral magic and mystic might, summoned creatures born from celestial delight. Together they danced with star tigers, swift and free, and forged an enchanted harmony through the cosmic sea. In crystalline caverns where iridescent crystals shine, a legion of gemstone warriors gathered to entwine their mastery of Jonic magic and mystic might. Summoned creatures born from ancient stones' pale light. Together they danced with Lemurian dragons, swift and free, and forged an enchanted harmony through the subterranean sea. In auroral realms where solar winds do blow, a legion of dawnbreakers gathered to bestow their mastery of radiant magic and mystic might. Summoned creatures born from morning light's delight. Together they danced with winged horses, swift and free, and forged an enchanted harmony through the cosmic sea. In mystic forests where ancient trees preside, a legion of leaf callers gathered to abide their mastery of verdant magic and mystic might. Summoned creatures born from morning dew's delight. Together they danced with wild sprites, swift and free, and forged an enchanted harmony through the forest sea. In shimmering gardens where moonflowers bloom, a legion of starweavers gathered to assume their mastery of lunar magic and mystic might. Summoned creatures born from silvery light's delight. Together they danced with lunar fairies, swift and free, and forged an enchanted harmony through the celestial sea. In labyrinthine cities where clockwork spires gleam, a legion of chronokeepers gathered to scheme their mastery of temporal magic and mystic might. Summoned creatures born from forgotten time's delight. Together they danced with hourglass dragons, swift and free, and forged an enchanted harmony through the metropolis's sea. In lunar ravines where astral winds do howl, a legion of star dancers gathered to unfold their mastery of celestial magic and mystic might. Summoned creatures born from starlight's pale delight. Together they danced with lunar phoenixes, swift and free, and forged an enchanted